Hello and welcome to the next in the series of speaker interviews for the UKHC. Today I am joined by Turan Mirza, a fellow hypnotist from here in the north of Ireland. I personally have had the pleasure of doing some street hypnosis with Turan here in Belfast. But for those of you that may not be familiar with Turan, and to give you a bit of an introduction, Turan originally began using hypnosis as a hobby around 9 years ago. It developed into street hypnosis and later into paid entertainment. Later, Turan trained in the field of change work and for the last 2.5 years has worked as a full-time hypnotist. This year at the convention, Turan will give a presentation on the Saturday afternoon titled Practical Tips for Presenting Hypnosis and Hypnotherapy at Networking Events. So Turan, a big welcome. It's nice to see you again.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
So this year at the UKHC, you'll be talking about the ins and outs of using networking events and how hypnotists and hypnotherapists can make the most of these kinds of meetups. And, you know, I know from my own personal experience that you're very active within the networking scene here in Northern Ireland. So perhaps you could begin by just telling us something of your own experience of networking groups, and is this something that evolved naturally, or was it a conscious decision that you made to leverage your business by accessing lots of meetups?
Well, that's a good question to start with. When I was starting out, like I say, my background is a corporate. I used to be a software engineer, software manager, and then a director of engineering, so it was very corporate driven. So when I was coming into this field of hypnosis and hypnotherapy, it's quite as the name suggests, soul trader environment. And I wanted to make sure I had a network of friends and people to help me out, not just friends and families, but I want to engage as many people as possible and spread the word about hypnosis. So I started talking to people and somebody says, there's someone you need to talk to. And that was actually David Mead, was one of the first people I talked to and who recommended networking. I don't know if it's as familiar name over in the UK, should be, but David Mead's a very famous mentalist and has been on BBC TV here. And I had a breakfast chat with David, and he gave me the advice: get out and network and connect with people, whether it was Chamber of Commerce, whether it was BNI, it's interact with people and sell what you're doing. And again, that phrase sounds very simple, but there's rules and
yes, it's involved.
Indeed, for just how to pitch it without just going in there and say, do you want hypnosis? Do you want hypnosis? I can hypnotize you. And again, as you said, my background in hypnosis, starting about 9 years ago or so, was just for entertainment, just for fun, just to learn what this hypnosis lark was all about. And I just did street hypnosis at start, so I was very familiar with entertaining people. But not with selling it as a therapeutic aid to people, or even as a corporate aid in companies. So I just started connecting, looking out on the internet for various networks, and I found several, and started going along and realized, yes, there's a way to conduct yourself and a way to gain rapport. The key things within networking are obviously to gain visibility of your business and of yourself, and to obviously gain credibility, and you do that by cultivating relationships, not just running in and quickly selling yourself.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, it just grew and grew. You go to these networking events, some formal, there's a wide variety of network events, and I want to explain all the different avenues to people during my talk. There's online networking, there's informal networking where it's just really maybe a meetup where people can chat. And then there's formal networking where people can go in and do their elevator pitch, hear other people's elevator pitches. And again, some of the tools and techniques involved are making sure that you just don't sell yourself and gain for yourself, but you listen to what other people do in their businesses and help them as well.
Yeah.
So,
and it sounds as though your presentation is going to contain lots of practical advice, stuff that hypnotherapists can really get their teeth into.
Indeed. Again, using my background in the street hypnosis and my familiarity with just doing on the spot and impromptu hypnosis, I'm going to give my anecdotes, my feedback into what I did and what I find really works.
Yeah.
Whether it's just a little demo in the corner of the room, or whether it's a presentation, a 10-minute presentation to maybe the network group itself, and even gaining work in, as I said, corporate environments, doing lunch and learns and getting paid for that there. I'm just back this morning from another connection I made through a networking event, which is hopefully going to get me into supporting and helping people with disabilities getting back into work. So you're
the busiest networker I know. You're continually networking.
Again, that, the key thing about most businesses is do a good job for your customers and they'll come back again and again and again. That's the core of 99.9% of businesses. With our work, the better job we do, the customer doesn't come back because, yes, I've got a selection of clients that come back because they enjoy the experience in general. I've got a collection of customers that come back because they've got multiple issues in their life. But for most people, they've got one big niggle. They might have a few anxieties, but they live with them or they avoid the situations. And they just want to maybe have to fly on business and they've got a fear of flying. So they'll come to me or to us for just one main issue. And once that's sorted, they don't come back. So you want to make sure, number one, that they refer you on. So you want to do a good job and give them a suggestion that they do refer us out to other people. But we're constantly looking for new business and new areas to work in.
Yeah.
I know Northern Ireland's quite a little niche area, and you're here in this niche area yourself. There's quite a lot of bad misconceptions about hypnosis, and just simply, I don't know about yourself. I mean, I do Google AdWords, I do Facebook post, paid adverts as well. But these are static things, even if they're videos, that they're a fixed message, and there's nothing better than getting out in front of people one-to-one or in groups and answering people's questions and belaying all those misconceptions about hypnosis.
Yeah. And so you mentioned a few things just there that I'd like to pick up on. To begin with, you mentioned that you will be doing a demonstration as part of the presentation. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, well, I don't want to give too much away.
No, not too much.
But yes, I've learned, when you start out in this and somebody says, oh, can you do a 10-minute presentation? You think, oh, I need to really, go to the high heavens and really go overboard. But I've found that some very basic things are still very mind-blowing for individuals, and they get the message across. Again, in terms of my networking, I've done, like, say, business networking, which is what we're really driving at. I've also done, voluntary work for the likes of Young Enterprise, which is going into primary schools. And I've done the same demo for, primary 7 kids as I have done for businessmen. And they've both been wowed by it. And they're simple things, simple techniques.
Well, I think this is the thing. Because we do them day in, day out, they can almost begin to seem mundane. And then when you present them to a fresh audience, you're reminded of how people can be wowed by these things, because it's fresh.
That's it. So, I'm hoping I don't intend to come up with mind-blowing new things. It's just pointing out what people already know. And making sure that they know that, wow, I never thought to do that. I thought that would be too simple and people would be bored with it. It's getting it across and presenting it in the right way. So that's the guidance there as well. So hopefully one, maybe even 2 different demos, and getting people to test them out if we have time in session. I really want to get that across so that people will go, wow, I've done that and I feel confident doing that.
Yes.
And it's a rich source, like I say, of getting new business and spreading the word, and having people champion you is great. One that comes to mind there, just thinking of this morning, was, and I have to give them a plug, this is what networking is all about, Ray Una, or Rayu is the photography team of Ray and Una. And Una was out at a social event, a regular social event that she goes to, talking to someone, and they said, I'm feeling a bit down, I'm feeling a bit anxious. And she says, I know the perfect guy to help you out.
Mm-hmm.
That was purely a connection made thanks to the networking. And, likewise, I know how good their photography is. I've seen their photography. I've seen their 10-minute presentation on the work they do. And I'm able to sell them and pitch them, as I have done this morning. And likewise, I know that they're out there listening out. It doesn't have to be during their photography work time that they're listening out for business for me. I know that at any moment of the time, somebody talks about an issue in their life, they say, I know somebody that can help you.
Yeah. And, you touched there on the issue of confidence. And I think that that's a big thing, because networking is one of those things that many hypnotherapists have on their list of things to do, but either, they're too busy and they don't get round to it, or else they don't really have the confidence to know where to start. It can be a big thing to try and get your head around. And it sounds as though your presentation can go towards giving hypnotherapists the confidence to know where to begin.
Exactly. That's why I say I want to cover off, several of my anecdotes about like that one there, going out and help me as a photographer. I want to give across just that confidence that this is easy. The other thing, when you're talking about confidence, one of the major things I help people with is doing an elevator pitch.
Okay.
I go to these network events and people come up to me later and say, that elevator pitch, I stumbled across it. I wasn't confident about it. I really need help just with confidence for elevator pitches. So again, it's not what you're really going to at network events is not to get the people in the room as clients. You want to get their friends, their clients, yes, their network to be referred to you. But a lot of the times you do get the people in the room because they don't have confidence in themselves selling their own business. So it's great to be able to help them out in that respect as well. And there's nothing more powerful than them pitching you because they came to you.
Yeah.
So again, it helps in that respect as well.
And so before we begin to wrap it up, you've kind of mentioned lots of the positive things about networking, but you've also mentioned in the information that you provided to us originally that you'll be talking about the do's and the don'ts. And I think the don'ts are really important. These are some of the things that hypnotherapists want to know. What don't I do at these events?
Well, that's it. Again, because I'm doing it, and as you say, I'm well known in Northern Ireland for going out and networking. You scroll through my Facebook page, again, part of networking. I want to pitch other people, so I try to tag other people in when I go to events. So you can scroll through the Feel Good Hypnosis Facebook page, and you'll see the various networks that I've been to. But likewise, not just in the early days, even now, there's times where I do something, I shouldn't have done it that way. I didn't, I was too pushy or whatever. So I want to communicate those to you. So yes, the warts and all.
Yes, I think that the warts are, one of the most valuable things to be able to pass on,
Well,
so that people know what to look out for.
And obviously I've talked about the demos, and I want it to be interactive in terms of people trying out what I'm talking about, but I also want it to be interactive on the day in terms of other people's experiences of networking in their area. So I want this to be a collaborative event, not just me standing there and talking for an hour.
Great. I think that, information to do with the business side of the way we work is very valuable, and it's something that hypnotherapists tend to be quite hungry for. So, very much looking forward to hearing you speak, Turan.
Yeah, and the key thing is networking. It's not just about getting business. Obviously, that's the core of our business, to get more business and make sure we help people and improve their lives. But it's, again, this can be quite a solitary soul trader event, trader, lifestyle of just, if you just stay in the office and see one client at a time, just getting out and having that social environment. We have, the various networks have Christmas dinners and all the rest of it. So in a corporate environment, if you come from that sort of background, you're quite used to those things. So it's nice again, just to socialize as well. So again, that's another benefit to networking.
Great. So for anyone who has yet to get their ticket and is interested in coming along to hear Turan speak, you can go to the UKHC website for tickets at ukhypnosisconvention.co.uk, And just to remind you, Turan will be speaking on Saturday afternoon.
And I forgot the time. It's 2:45, I think. Check
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
I was right. Yes, I mean, in terms of that, if anybody doesn't have their tickets yet, you mentioned that, give the convention a plug. I can't speak highly enough for the convention. I've been going for 4 years now since it started, and really gain invaluable tips, invaluable advice with every convention I go to. The networking afterwards and in the evenings is invaluable as well. You get to talk with other people. So highly recommend coming along, whether you know anything about hypnosis or not. This is not just for the elite of hypnotists. I mean, there's a lot of top names speaking at the event, but it's for people of all skill ranges as well. So highly recommend it. It's a great event. And I met you there. A lot of information
and a lot of fun.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, Turan, well, thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
I look forward to seeing you again in November, if not before.
And I look forward to seeing all of you guys.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, cheers.
Right.